I'm here with Blythe Keeler Robinson, and I've got something special for you guys because she is an amazing woman. She is the first woman Black president and CEO of Sheltering Arms, which is an incredible organization to begin with. And she's going to tell you a little bit about that. Not only is she the first, she's also been rocking and rolling at this organization for 10 years. And because of her strong leadership, she's helped bring Sheltering Arms to 135 years of business. How are you doing today, Blythe?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for taking a little bit of time out of your day to let us know what is going on. And, I want to start by introducing our listeners to who you are, how you got your passion, and, what makes you Blythe.
Oh, wow. I love that question. So I'm Blythe, and I have been at Sheltering Arms here for 10 years. Super excited about celebrating that time at such an amazing organization. I have been in early childhood education for quite some years. And really, I will tell you that my passion started with my own experience as a little girl, 4 years old, and my own preschool program, and just have very, very strong and fond memories of my early learning experience. And it really helped to shape me. And I am who I am today because of that. It's where I learned to love learning, love asking questions, love exploring. And it just was an amazing part of the start of my educational career and experience.
Awesome. Awesome. I always like to say my sister was my first teacher and now she is a teacher. So I love hearing those types of like lifelong learning stories. And, it's just touching to hear that. Now, I mentioned it earlier, you are the president and CEO of Sheltering Arms, and I feel like we live in a world today where a lot of people are not aware of what good organizations do. So can you share a little bit about Sheltering Arms and exactly what they do in the community?
Absolutely. So Sheltering Arms is one of Georgia's largest and oldest early childhood programs. And oldest, I mean 135 years. We were started in 1888, really, really long time ago. And one of the things I like to share, when I say early childhood programs, many people will think of preschool programs. And so we offer preschool programs as well as family support services. And that's really what makes us who we are today. So in 1888, when we were founded by a group of women who began our first center initially as a safe space for children whose parents were working in the mills. Today, 135 years later, we continue that, and we have 13 locations across Metro Atlanta, and we serve up to 3,500 children every day from 6 weeks to 5 years old. And so we also serve when we say we serve their parents, that means that we're also taking what we call a 2-generation approach and provide lots of support services for the adults in the lives of our children. So high quality early childhood education to get our children ready for school, and then wrapping our arms around our families to provide them with the supports and resources that they need.
Incredible. What was it about Sheltering Arms that you felt a call to it, or you felt that that was the place you needed to be?
Yeah, so there's so much community work being done at Sheltering Arms. When an organization, I had the opportunity to come when we were turning 125 years old. When an organization has been in a community for so long, there are so many connections throughout the community. And so for me, my passion has always been about being in the community, and this organization is that organization. My passion around early childhood education, my passion around supporting children and families, and my love for the community is what really drew me to this organization. And I often share that years ago, when I was doing research about high quality programs, Sheltering Arms always came up as one of those organizations. And so it is really an honor for me to be able to sit in this seat and be here and lead this organization.
That's incredible. Awesome. Awesome. Now, I want to circle back. You kind of touched a little bit on something that I 100% agree on, which is early childhood education is, well, yes, preschool and on, but some of that starts at home with family support. What are some other key factors for providing a really great quality educational experience? Because you and I both know that means yes, it's opening a book, but it's also so much more than that. So what are some of those factors?
Yeah, so one of the things I want to say about early childhood education is how important the first few years of life are. It is an enormous time for brain development. So much is happening with a child's brain in those first 5 years. And so, in addition to a solid education, if you will, or early education at a place like Sheltering Arms, there's so much that adults can do. And I always say that it's using those everyday opportunities as learning opportunities, right? So when you're walking outside, you're noticing colors, you're noticing the grass is green, you're noticing the stoplight colors, you're also noticing figures and shapes and objects. And so everywhere we are, there's an opportunity to turn that into a learning experience. Grocery stores, laundromats, the walk in the park. It's really important that we are talking to and with our children, as well as exposing them to different kinds of concepts, the letters, the shapes, the sizes, the numbers, all of those things that are around us all the time. So riding the bus can be one of the most wonderful educational experiences to have with a young child.
Awesome. Awesome. So I kind of have a little bit of a twofold question for you, Blythe. How has your leadership style impacted Sheltering Arms? And how has Sheltering Arms affected your leadership style?
Oh, good question. So I would say that my leadership has impacted the organization by really elevating the organization. And by that, I mean bringing our organization's name out, right? And so we are a very community-based and local organization, but the work that we do really stands out and others have taken notice. And so I'm very proud of our role and our thought leadership and our voice in the early childhood landscape. And I think that during my time, I've had the opportunity to really, you know, bring our voice out and bring the organization out to new communities and to introduce the work of not only Sheltering Arms, but the importance of early childhood education to other audiences, which is really, really important. And I will say, coming into Sheltering Arms, I said it before, it's an honor for me to lead an organization that is such an institution in our community. And when I think of coming here on my first day, which was 125 years for the organization, you know, I really learned a lot about just legacy, longevity, and how important those things are in an organization, and how that helps me to lead, to think about the future. Right? An organization remains around as long as we have because it remains relevant. And so what Sheltering Arms has taught me is that it's important to always keep my eye on that to ensure that we remain relevant for another 135 years into the future.
Absolutely. You know, I have to ask, like you keep saying, this is a 135-year-old operation. It's incredible. You know, that there's something so special protecting kind of life and education and protecting our future, not just as children, but as adults. We do not realize, I guess, how important uplifting and teaching the youth is in general, or preparing the family for that. So I have to ask, do you have your own personal legacy project for your time at Sheltering Arms? Like what's a project you've been working on that you hope takes you all the way till the end of your time with them? Or how are you hoping your impact affects Sheltering Arms?
Oh, wow. Okay. There are a couple of projects, but one that I will say that's really, really important is our work in really uplifting the importance of early childhood education and programs that serve majority Black and Brown children, and really looking at these organizations, looking at Sheltering Arms as an organization that embraces the brilliance of our young children. And so that means we have to work really, really hard in reframing the way people think about these kinds of programs, the way that people talk about these kinds of programs, and the way that people invest in these kinds of programs. And so it is important to me that I continue to push that through our messaging, through our programs, and to anyone that I talk to, that this program is so essential for the families that we serve. And we want to make sure that our community understands that and embraces that importance, and also becomes our biggest champions and advocates. So it's really about lifting up that language so that it becomes the norm, right? The excellence, the brilliance of the work that we do, but also the children and families that we serve.
Right, right. I have a question I have to ask. You all recently hosted your equity conversation for the first time in person in 3 years. Obviously, doing a little math there, we know that's because of COVID, and you hosted it with Dr. Rice. What are some other chats that really are coming up on your calendar that we can, listen in on and take advantage of to help propel that conversation and help get better developmental skills for continuing childhood education?
Yeah, so I will say that was a fabulous and fun conversation that I had with Dr. Rice, and the whole conversation is available on our website and on our Facebook page. So you can always go back and watch that. We encourage your listeners to do that. We will also be holding additional equity conversations and an equity dinner later this year. So we'll make sure that all of that information is available on our social media sites. And then we have other events and opportunities to just learn more about our organization and to support our organization. So we're really excited about those. One main one is our annual Embrace Early Street Party in September on the 28th. And we're really excited where that's a time for us to bring together our friends and our supporters of Sheltering Arms to learn more about our organization and to support the work that we're doing.
Absolutely. That's incredible. Could you mention, how to get in touch with you, how to get in touch with Sheltering Arms, how people can read on what you guys are doing, and all the amazing work you are plugged into in the community?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, we are on all social media platforms. So you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram at sheltering_arms. And then you can also follow me on Instagram at Blythe Keeler Robinson. It's one word. And on Twitter at BKRob75.
Awesome. Awesome. One last question. And that is because you're in such a historic role right now. You're the first Black woman to be president and CEO of this amazing organization. What tip, trick, or piece of confidence could you give another woman who's admiring how far you've come in your personal journey? And, what would you say to them?
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. There are lots of lessons that I've learned over the years, but one that I often share with younger women who are thinking about their future career goals is that it's really important to take the opportunity. And by that, I mean, it doesn't mean that someone has to tell you that this is an exciting project or work, or that you would only do it with a new title. It's really about seeing a gap and trying to figure out how to fill it. And when you do that, you get noticed. And that has been one of the things in my career that has really propelled me further faster. People take notice in that. And it's one piece of advice I always share.
Awesome. Have they gotten you a cake yet for your 10-year anniversary?
I got donuts, cupcakes, and a cake. And so, yes, and we'll be celebrating all year. So there's more cake and cupcakes to come.
Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. It's not a celebration without cake, in my opinion. So
That's
perfect.
right.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, Blythe, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day. And everybody, thank you so much for joining us. If you want to keep up to date with amazing conversations just like this one or other projects I'm working on in the community, you can follow me across all social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. I can't think of any other ones, but at it's me _ Alyssa D. And of course, thank you, Blythe, again for just taking a little bit of time out of your day to let us know what's going on over at Sheltering Arms. And congratulations on this momentous occasion in your career and just the walls and barriers you're breaking down for other people to come behind you.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a
Of
wonderful
course.
rest of the week.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.